This is GabNet, the Great American Broadcast Network, now in its 8th year of talk like you've never heard it before.
Whoa! Hey, it's me. I'm Alex, and it's the Ramble. That's the name of the program. We're here until midnight tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, it is the lovely and attractive Larry Bubbles Brown. Oh, hello, Larry.
Hello, Alex. It was lovely to try. Yes, David Tell on stage that night said, "You must do well, Larry, with your Dust Bowl good looks."
Oh man, did he say that on stage?
Yeah.
Oh, that's wonderful. Your Dust Bowl good looks. Oh, good.
He comes up with the greatest phrases.
I always remember Tell as one of the funniest comics around.
Oh, the best, yeah.
Yeah. But I think vastly unappreciated. I think for a while there he had kind of a cult following, but he doesn't seem to appear that much in places now, like he used to. So
Yeah, he had that Insomniac show on Comedy Central in the early 2000s, which got a good following, and now he sold out every show he had at Cobb's.
Yeah. No, he has a following, is what he has,
He has a following, yeah. He can make a good living doing that, but he's certainly there's guys like him and Slayton that should have been more famous than they were.
Yeah, I think Slayton is the biggest, the saddest thing of all, in a way. I mean, I don't want to talk about Bobby as being sad because he certainly has been successful in his time. But one of the best comedians alive. I mean, just the perfect stand-up.
Chris Rock said he's the best club comic.
Really? He did say that? Okay.
Yeah.
That meant don't come close to me because I'm the best concert comic. But he did call him the best club comic. And that would be the best way to describe him. He is a club comic,
Yeah, I don't think he was nearly as funny on TV as he is live.
There is something about Bobby that doesn't translate. I don't know what it is. I mean, I watch some of his sets that he does on TV, and they're fine, but it's nothing like being there with him.
Right.
You can't put that in a bottle. And he's had that problem. He's had that problem over the years. So, I mean, and you're another one of those. You're another one of those comics who should have been eminently bigger, But, then again, you have never been a promoter.
No, and I know guys that do really well, really, really work on that. And somebody told me, Greg Bennett, I remember he really wanted to be famous, and then he wrote that book, He's Just Not That Into You, which became a movie.
He or she's not into you.
I think he's not that into you.
He's not that into you. Yeah, and it was a big success for some.
Yeah, and then he got a show from Oprah, which didn't last. And he told me, he said, when he got to that level, he said he realized getting famous is a lot easier than staying famous, and he just realized he didn't want to do that much work.
Something? He's absolutely right. Staying famous is much more difficult than getting there.
Yeah.
Yeah. But you've never been the kind of guy that promotes yourself,
No, I always feel embarrassed doing that.
In fact, I shouldn't blame you because I've never been very good at promoting myself.
No, you got to be kind of like a self-loving windbag to do that, which I find kind of who wants to do that?
The first name that comes to mind is Howard Stern.
Yeah.
So,
king of all media,
a self-promoting windbag. I mean, basically, that's the way to describe his act. And I call it an act, folks. I always call when like for instance, when people talk to me about my persona on air, and I always talk about it as the act. That's my act. The character I play on radio is my act, and so nothing terrible about that, you know. So, but anyway, it's a matter of a lot of people who have make it because they're very good at promoting themselves.
Yeah, I think you got to wonder how Clint Eastwood or someone that's had a career literally till their 90s, how do they do it?
I think Clint has had a career for that many years because he has changed his venues on any number of occasions. I mean, he became a director, and that gave him the ability to keep his career going behind the camera. But because he was so successful at making those movies, he could put himself and cast himself in some of them, you know, and that's why he's lasted this long.
Well, I read that he became a director because when he was doing films early in his career, he thought some of the directors were so bad, he thought, oh, my God, I can do better than this.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's the way I felt about radio. I used to, one time I remember there was a guy, who was it? I can't remember the name. I'm trying to remember his name. He was working over at KSFO. It was Gene Nelson. He was doing the morning show. And I was fired at, let me see, where was I fired? I'm trying to remember where I was fired from at the time. But I was let go by a radio station in San Francisco. And I think this was the first time I got let go at Live 105. And I woke up that morning, my clock radio always went off at that time of the morning. And usually, oddly enough, I didn't have it tuned to Live 105. I had it tuned to, I think, KSFO. And it goes off because it's the first morning I'm not working anymore. I forgot to turn it off, right? You know? And on comes Gene Nelson. And I'm lying there listening to this drivel that this guy is doing. And I'm saying to myself, wait a minute, let me get this straight. I'm out of work, but he's not? You know? And that was the thing that always was a mystery to me. And part of it was that Gene Nelson was a great self-promoter. And I wasn't. And that's why I kept, being out of work and this thing and that thing. Not because I was bad. I got big ratings and stuff like that. But because I just didn't know how to play the game. Mm-hmm. And that's the problem. You got to know how to play the game. And I was never good at it. Never good at self-promotion. Yeah.
No, I know guys like George Lopez was great at that. He would work so hard just promoting himself. When he had a show, he'd be calling every town, the local station, hey, watch my sitcom tonight, and really got to work hard to keep it up there. And
yeah. But, and
most comics are lazy, so that's why.
Well, it isn't that you're lazy. I think it's that, in your case, you don't like promoting yourself. You don't like going out there and touting how great you are.
I know. I think that's the Midwest part of me. We're kind of very...
But you know who does that the most? The people who are not as good as the rest. They somehow,
right.
You see, and the reason why the David Tells of the world and the Larry Bubbles Brown and Bobby Slayton was pretty good at self-promotion. He was pretty good at self-promotion. But his self-promotion was to plug what he was doing in the clubs. And what's happened is over the years, the nature of the clubs have changed completely. And the reason he's not working anymore is he decided, I'm tired of trying to get jobs where they're bringing in all these young kids, because they'll work cheap, and they have their own little following, so it's cheaper for them to bring them in than to bring me in. I don't know, I guess he used to get $4,000 or $5,000 a week, So he gave up on it. He just gave up. He says, rather than take less money, he said, I'd just rather not do it at all. So,
yeah.
And I always found that a complete shame, because there are guys like the David Tells and the Bobby Slaytons, and we can name a whole bunch of others, I mean, I hear that, who was the guy that we used to always say was a genius in comedy in San Francisco? Kramer.
Kramer, yeah.
Yeah. Not the Kramer from Seinfeld, but I'm trying to remember his first name now. See, that's where Jeremy Kramer. Jeremy Kramer. Jeremy Kramer was, in most people's minds, an absolute genius.
Oh, brilliant, yeah.
Just brilliant. And what's happened to Jeremy Kramer? Last thing I heard, who did I talk to? Can't remember who I talked to, who said he's just become a bitter old man.
Really?
Yeah, he's just really not there with it, you know. Not funny anymore, just bitter.
Yeah,
Yeah.
That's not good.
Well, I mean, come on, how many years has it been? And he hasn't really made it big. And the other problem you have, and you have this with people like Jeremy Kramer, Bob Rubin is another one that comes to mind, where everybody immediately says, this guy's a genius. And they hear it. And they think, well, you know, being a genius must pay off in making more money. And that's not what being a genius does. You know? And I found that amazing, you know, that you get these guys who have the word genius attached to them, and they never go anywhere, you know, because they think that's their ticket to stardom. And they don't realize their ticket to stardom is, you know, blowing directors. You know, I mean, that's what it's all about, you know. I say that in a euphemistic sense, because really you just got to kiss everybody's ass. And you're not about ready to kiss anybody's ass, are you?
No.
No, and I'm not. And I find that that I always felt I should make it on my talent too. Now I did okay, but there are guys, you know. I mean, like last year I was up for the Radio Hall of Fame, okay, and I was in a category that the public votes on. All right. And the winners, I was up against Sally Jesse Raphael, who I personally felt should have won because of her, you know, her career and her history as a personality, and not only in radio, where she was being nominated for, but television as well. But there was also me. There were also some other people who have been in radio a while. And the thing was won by a morning team in Philadelphia that I never heard of in my life. You know, and I'm going, okay, that's my one shot to get in the Radio Hall of Fame, and I get upstaged by these two. I would say if I listened to them, I'd say this is mediocre. You know, two mediocre morning show hosts. You know, and they probably went and picked up their trophy and were so happy for it, but, you know, people like me helped establish what happens in this business. I was saying to somebody the other day in one of these discussions we were having, maybe it was Kravitz, that there would be no Howard Stern if there hadn't been an Alex Bennett. You know, because this guy grew up listening to me.
Right, yeah.
You know, and I influenced him. And that's fine. I don't mind influencing somebody and having them do terrifically because they took what I did and interpreted it for themselves and became a success with it. But what does bother me is that I'm not getting that same kind of payoff. You know, at least something as simple as being admitted to the Broadcast Radio Hall of Fame. You know, which he, by the way, it wasn't inducted into many years ago before he probably even really deserved it. You know, so I mean that's the kind of thing that bothers me, and it should bother you too. I mean, you watch comics who are big and successful, and you go, "How come I didn't make it?" Do you ever say that to yourself?
Well, I think I know. I just staying in San Francisco is probably the biggest mistake. But.
Well, that is a mistake. Yeah, that would be. But are you happy? Well, wait a minute. I'm asking Larry Bowles Brown. Is he happy?
I don't think I'm less happy than I would have been elsewhere. So. Okay.
So, but you know, do you feel that you've had a good career?
Simply by the fact that I made a living doing stand-up, which is not easy. So.
Okay, the fact that you were able to do it and continue doing it and make a living out of it was enough for you.
Yeah, when I started out, I thought, man, if I could just make my living doing comedy, that'd be the greatest thing I could do, and so I did that.
So you did that. So you're successful. You're successful.
So yeah, at that point, yeah, sure.
Now, am I successful? Was I successful?
Oh, absolutely.
See, I don't ever feel I was successful.
No, you dominated the radio here.
Yeah, but I don't feel I was successful, when the whole thing was going on.
So you would like to have dominated nationally.
Yeah, I was talking to somebody today for about an hour that you have been bugging to call me. And about a week ago, he got in touch with me. And that was Chuck Farnham.
Oh, wow, great,
Yeah. And we were talking, we were talking about the old days. And it was the same discussion kind of that you and I had about if I went back to San Francisco now and wanted to do my show, everybody would be disappointed because of the things I couldn't do. It wouldn't be the same. But I never felt that I was particularly successful. I felt a certain privilege in San Francisco, and I felt maybe successful in San Francisco. But I would have loved to have been successful nationally,
Yeah.
And I never got to that point. Also, radio in those days was not yet all satellite delivered, and so anytime I'd try and make a deal somewhere, I'd want to say, well, are you going to put me up on a satellite? Are you going to syndicate me? And I almost left San Francisco at one point to go to work for Mel Karmazin, the guy who gave Howard his career, to go to Washington, D.C. to do a show for him, and they were going to syndicate that. And at the last minute, I turned it down because I felt I was betraying Live 105 if I left. So
really?
Yeah.
Wow, that would have been huge.
Yeah. So that was my... I also turned it down because I had heard terrible things about Mel Karmazin, this guy I was talking about. And, horrible stories about him and how mean he could be and how demanding he was and blah, 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 blah. Well, I turned it down for that reason, too. I didn't trust him. And then I went to work for him at Sirius XM because he became the head of Sirius XM while I was there. And I went, I'm out the door now, And no, I was still there. And finally, one day, I remember we were at the bottom of the stock market. I think the stock was down to 5 cents. That's how bad it was. And I met up with him in the break room. And I walked up to him and I introduced myself. I said, Mel, I'm Alex Bennett. And he looks back at me and goes, yes, I know. I'm a fan.
Real.
And we got into a discussion, and I suddenly realized that Mel loved what I did and that he loved what anybody on the air did, that he would go into a station and yell at the general manager and at the salespeople and so on. But then he would go in and he'd praise the talent because he loved talent. And I made a big mistake by not taking that job in Washington. That was the biggest mistake I ever made, in my career. So I also made some mistakes too. I often said that careers are made not on the jobs you take, but on the jobs you don't take.
It's so true.
And, once I was offered a job to go back to Houston, Texas, at a fairly decent salary. My wife and I were in New York, and we're broke, and we don't know what we're going to do next and where our next penny is coming from. And they fly us into Houston, and they wine us and dine us, and I come back to New York, and I look at Ronnie, who was then my wife, Susan, who was then my wife. I have to remember who my wives were. And I said to her, I can't take the job. And I said, she said, why? And I said, because that's going backward. That's not going forward. And so I turned down the job. A week later, I was asked to come to San Francisco to audition for the job at KMEL, which I couldn't have done had I taken that other job. So it was then that I learned that careers are made many times off the jobs you don't take, not the ones you take. And the rest is history, as you put it, or kind of history.
Yeah.
Radio history, which isn't history at all, So. But
So many actors have ruined their careers by taking bad films.
oh yes, absolutely. Or they take a bad film, and because they're expected to make a lot of money for the company, and the film doesn't make money, they're suddenly poison at the box office.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, yesterday's hero is today's schmo. Terrible, just horrible. So I mean that's about so. But you should have gotten the big break. I mean you're the guy we love talking famously about this, who did the Letterman show, did a great set on it, and they said get another 5 minutes, and come back when you're ready. And you didn't do it for 20 years.
Ready in 20 years. I
Ready.
took my time.
And then when you did it in 20 years, it was a great set. I mean, when you walked off, everybody told you great set, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. In fact, you were even better than you were the first time because you had matured.
I got much better. Yeah, I was just.
But the fact
First time you do TV is a little nerve-wracking, to say the least. So.
The fact that you waited 20 years, that was maybe your biggest mistake.
Yeah, that was. Can't come back when you're 90.
But then again, I got to tell you, Jake Johansson. Remember Jake Johansson, right?
Mm-hmm. No.
Jake, who's a good comic, holds the record, I think, for comics who have been on the Letterman show more than any other comic.
I think he did 40, yeah. Just unbelievable.
Is that many?
Yeah.
Jesus. And where's Jake Johansson today?
He's a working comic. So.
Yeah, but did he get any bigger than the clubs? He made one movie. That, I guess, didn't work for him. I don't know why. It was a fairly good movie. But I mean, Jake just, Well,
he made one huge mistake, is what I heard. Was Seinfeld wanted him to be Kramer, and he turned it down.
Really? I never heard that story.
I've heard that story, and I thought, well, that couldn't be right. And then I looked it up on Wikipedia, which is notoriously wrong, but that story is mentioned, that he was friends with Seinfeld, and Seinfeld really thought he'd be great as Kramer.
But did they offer it to him?
I think it was offered, and he said no, because at the time, what I heard was he wanted to star in his own sitcom.
Oh. Well, what you do is you star in somebody else's sitcom, and then you get your own sitcom.
Yeah.
I mean, I think...
Well, to me, I just wanted to be a supporting character in a sitcom. That would have been my idea of fame, because it was very little work, and it was an easy job, and you make good money.
Yeah.
David Spade was really good at that. He always took, the supporting roles in sitcoms, and he did very well.
Well, and he established his character that he could be hired for.
Yeah.
Bobby Slayton did the pilot for, I'm trying to remember what it was now. He played the fix-it guy in a building or something. And I'm trying to remember what the show was. But it was... Was it that sitcom, a Richard Lewis sitcom? I think that might have been it, yeah.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah. And that didn't go. So that was the last time he was ever set up for a sitcom. But that's what a lot of comics wait for. They wait for the sitcom to come along, and then they drop comedy altogether. But then there are people like Bobby Slayton who are really the quintessential stand-up comic, and that doesn't necessarily translate into a part in a sitcom.
No. But there was a time in TV, the 80s and 90s, they were throwing sitcoms at comedians.
Yeah, but sometimes they were pilots, and then they never went any further than that. Like I saw, and I in fact edited into his reel that I put together for him, Bobby Slayton's biggest part that never happened. They were going to do an animated version. They were going to do a version of the Pink Panther with human beings and the animated Panther. And guess who the voice of the Panther was?
Yeah, really?
Bobby Slayton. And it was perfect. That was the perfect voice for the Panther. Because it's got that rough little voice, and whatever. But anyway, hey, listen, I'm looking. Ooh, we're coming down on time's up almost.
We must be jacked up on that caffeine.
Yeah, right. I wish I could get jacked. I can't get jacked up on caffeine anymore. It just kind of mildly keeps me awake for about 10 minutes or something. Anyway, well, we're all gonna die. Okay.
That's true.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, listen. It's good talking to you again. And
good talking to you.
We must do this again next week.
We shall.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, that's his nibs, Larry Bubbles Brown. Thanks, Larry.
Thanks, Alex.
This is GabNet, the Great American Broadcast Network, now in its 8th year of talk like you've never heard it before.
Oh, thank you very much, Larry. We'll be with you again next week, I guess. Yeah, we do it once a week with him, and that'd be good. Okay, terrific. Hi, everybody. How are you? I'm Alex. Yeah. Oh boy, I'm tired tonight again. I don't know what's with me. I'm a hypochondriac, as you know. And I've become more of a hypochondriac since my friend Shecky died. I just feel that, hey, my days are numbered. I'm feeling tired all the time. I'm weak, blah, 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 blah. And actually, I look at myself in the mirror and I'm healthy, but I'm having a little trouble walking, and I don't know. Maybe it's just, I really need to get out. I really need to get out. I'm having some more B12. This jacks me up a little bit, okay? Let me see here. Okay. You just put it under your tongue, and then you just let it sit there. Anyway, so, ever since Shecky went, I've been a little bit on the real hypochondriacal side. Just ask my wife. She has to live with it. And I've always been a hypochondriac, but, as I get this old, you wake up every morning and go, is this the last day on earth? And I know that sounds depressing, doesn't it? Wait a minute, let me bring Charlie Wallace in here. By the way, Charlie, you are, in fact, the only one waiting to come on here. So let me see here. Do we have him? Is he going to have... Yeah, wait a minute. There we go. Ah, yes. Oh, here comes Vernon Nunn, too. Vernon's joining us now. Thank you, Vernon. I appreciate it. Oh, and Kevin is calling as well. So we have like three really intelligent people and one stupid one.
Thanks a lot, Alex.
There goes your bad. Look what's happening there, Vernon.
Yeah.
You're gonna have to go back to your other machine.
This computer is dying on me, I guess.
Yeah. Well,
I have to go get the other one.
Okay. Well, we'll see in a little bit. Okay. We'll get rid of Vernon here so that he doesn't. There we lost him. Okay. There's Kevin. What are you standing up for, Kevin? Kevin's standing up. And nobody's able to get their machines going tonight. Oh, damn. You know something? You're not wearing one of your spiffy T-shirts. Yours just says Arizona, and I know what that means.
Yeah. I was feeling nostalgic.
Yeah? Did you go to Arizona?
I lived in Arizona for 18 months.
Oh, for 18 months?
Yeah.
But did you go to school there?
No, 18 and 19. 2018, 2000. When I first called.
No, really? You were in Arizona, weren't you? And where had you come from to go to Arizona?
Austin, Texas, where I came back to.
Okay, yeah. So why did you leave Austin, Texas? Was it a wife you broke up with or something, or?
No, well, girlfriend.
Girlfriend, yeah. And so you went. What, did you go to Arizona with her?
Yep. And then when we broke up, I moved back to Austin.
Screw you! I'm going back to where I want to be.
Yep.
You're not. Are you from Texas? I can't remember now.
No, I grew up in Chicago.
You grew up in Chicago. Okay. So what made you wind up in Texas?
I went to graduate school at the University of Texas at Austin.
I see. Okay. Well, that makes a lot of sense, you know. So anyway, look at my red tongue. That's from the B. That's from the B12. Hello, Kevin. How you doing tonight?
All right, how you doing, Alex?
I'm doing okay. You know, I'm just tired all the time. I don't know what it is. I think it's just I don't go out, and I'm stuck indoors. And I think it's boredom, and I need to go out, and I need to get some exercise.
Exactly.
And that will probably help me a great deal. But first, I got to be able to walk. I got to get my legs going again. You know. So, what the hell? You know.
Use it or lose it.
Well, we just lost Kevin.
Yep.
Just close the door.
You know, a big brawny guy like you, and you've got a pink chair. What's that all about?
It was in my daughter's room, and I stole it.
I see. A long time ago?
Quite a while ago. I keep saying I'm going to get another one because this is uncomfortable as hell, and it squeaks.
Yeah. Oh boy. Well, anyway, so what is new? We look. You are the only guys on the show right now.
Where is everybody?
I don't know. There's some stupid thing called the Final Four or whatever that thing
what
is.
they're watching, yeah.
Yeah. You know, so they're probably watching that. Either that, or nobody loves me anymore. You know.
I know Josh is on the road.
Yeah, Josh is on the road. Josh is said, apologize to everybody for me that I'm not there tonight, but I'm in Yorktown, right? Is that where? Yeah. And so he's very nice. Sent me a note, said I'm not going to be able to be there tonight, and I just wanted to let you know. And I felt that was very nice of him. You know, far be it from anybody else. Like, for instance, who isn't here? That's always here.
Well, Jeff's not here.
Jeff's not here, and who else?
Tony.
Tony, and what's his name? You know,
Josh.
No, not Josh. I just said Josh wasn't going to be here. Yeah. No. But anyway, so
I joined late.
Where's Brian Neary? Yeah.
Yeah, well, you know.
That's right.
He might show up later. He might show up later, but you know, he calls almost every night. So like when you don't call, Charlie, I go, okay, but he calls most of the time. You know, so I can't fault him for it.
Well, if it quit raining, I'd probably be here last, but it's been raining so much.
It's still raining out there, huh? Here comes Wayne. Wayne.
Brian said he's coming. Brian said he's logging on now.
Oh, really? Oh, okay. All right. So he's getting a hold of you. He's just not getting a hold of me. That's what it's all about.
It's the way he is, I guess.
Yeah.
He's on the chat.
Let's talk about him behind his back before you.
There you go.
Must have heard us.
So we know this is the real Wayne because it's Wayne ZBR, right?
Yeah.
Now you told him,
Don't say that. Don't say that. That's our code word.
Yeah.
Now we're going to have to come up with a new code word.
Well, you know the people who are trying to intervene, they watch your shows.
I don't know if they do, to be honest with you. I think they do it.
They're on the chat. That's the only thing.
I think they do it blind. I really do. I think they just take a chance that hey, I'll just check in with him and see if he'll pick up. And then they wait. They wait.
If anybody else tries to call in as and none, don't let them do it.
Yeah. Let me see here. Is this going to be Tony? Okay. Is it Tony? Is it Tony? There it is, Tony. My God, it is Tony.
Oh, I feel like shit too.
I know you look like shit.
I know. You know why? I got a cold, Alex. I think I got a cold bug or something.
I may have something myself. I don't know what it is.
Nasal drip going.
I got a nasal drip, and I've been like, I walk around. I'm like in a fog. You know, kind of foggy.
Yeah, like it's been real high.
It's like a cold. I caught a cold from my sister. I think she's a teacher.
Yeah. But
tree pollen's been high here.
You know, that might be it. That could be causing my loopiness, you know. But I've been just the whole day just really lightheaded.
Like I'm blowing my nose all day. Like I got that little.
Yeah. So.
Well, Alan just texted me. He's going to be here in a little bit.
Alan? Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah. Phil's not calling. He was just talking to me.
Huh?
Phil is not calling. He's tired, he said.
Well, we're tired of you, Phil, so go away.
He's got some kind of gala tomorrow, he's telling me. Oh, no. I just call out. I like when you yell at him.
Yeah, but, whenever he call, like we do our show on either Wednesday or Thursday with him, that's the lowest rated night of the week for me.
Yeah.
Except
I go to your page, they yell at him. It's funny,
Except yesterday, the show I did with Kravitz was really low. And then what the highest viewership of anything that I'm doing is the other day I did my little walk in the park with Marjorie, 7 minutes long, 8 minutes long, nothing happens, two old people tongue kiss, and then it's over with. And I got something like, I don't know, 800 views or something like that, without even breathing heavy. And the week ain't over yet. So, yeah. Well, look at Ray.
We love Marjorie.
There we
You
go.
got my mother up?
What?
My mother's haunted. Does he have, I like when he puts my mother's dog.
Oh, I can put your mom.
No,
You
no.
do? How's she doing?
Let's see how
I
she
dreamed
is.
of her the other night. She was cooking in the kitchen. Then I woke up.
Let's see here. Here's
Yeah, she's
here's the same background that
I like it. I
that-
can't believe she's
it's the
There's
same-
mommy.
She never looked so good. Imagine getting woken up at 2 a.m. asking for a search. I thought she was like, "What do you want? I need a search." It's 2 o'clock.
Well, you got that from a still of Psycho, right?
Yeah.
That's Mama from Psycho.
Yeah, I downloaded it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Psycho.
Waking me up. Trying to sleep here.
I just remember the kind of screams in the audience when she turns around and is in that chair and she's just, like that, and everybody
really?
went, and then of course, Vera
I never
Miles
saw that.
hits the lamp and it goes back and forth over the face and she's screaming, and what's interesting about Psycho, nobody ever mentions this, but if you watch it closely, the very end. To begin with, who is the cop who brings a blanket to his mother?
I don't know. I never watched the whole movie.
To rather Anthony Perkins, rather. At the end, they say here's a blanket. He takes it to Anthony Perkins. Ted Knight.
Oh, really? Oh.
Hello, Mary. Hello, Lou.
Yeah, it's Ted Knight. Yeah.
We used to read the news all wrong.
But he's sitting there, and you hear him thinking, and there's a narration of what he's thinking, and he's saying this, that, and the other thing. He says, and I don't know why they feel that, because I would never hurt a fly.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, it fades out to the car being pulled out of the water. But just before the dissolve is almost complete, that mother's face is momentarily superimposed on his face. But you have to look quickly.
I gotta watch that whole movie.
Yeah, but if you watch quickly, that precise moment when they do the dissolve, they also have, his mother's face, skeletal face, superimposed on his face as they fade to the. But it's quick. It's really quick.
Ted Knight's face, or
not Ted Knight's face. Listen to me.
Anthony Perkins.
God, I hate it when I say something and then people don't listen.
He's not listening.
No, I listened, but I didn't listen.
Yeah, that's the. I didn't
It was
listen.
perfectly clear to me.
Is that what
who
you
were
told your
talking
teachers
about.
in school? I listened,
Yeah.
but I didn't listen.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
good.
driving
That's good.
crazy.
It's a good excuse. I accept it. Okay.
Thank you.
What'd you say?
What?
But anyway, so we in the news today. What's kind of interesting is what's happening to the DA here in New York. This guy Bragg, who he's becoming a hero of mine because he.
Did you see what happened, Alex?
Well, that's what I'm about to say.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah. He's been threatened. They got a little thing in the mail, and they thought it might be, since it was a white powder, that it could be, what do you call it?
Anthrax.
Anthrax. But of
BA4.
course it never is. You know,
That's what.
and
That's
it,
how we started.
Kill 30
and it
people.
was mailed from an address in Florida. Okay, and so he got it was mailed to an address in Florida, and I hope it isn't the real address. So that guy's really stupid. And then on top of that, there's a letter inside. They're assuming that he hasn't like shipped the whole envelope out to the toxic people. But in the note it says, "I'm going to kill you."
Don't beat around the bush.
Now, what brings out this kind of behavior in people?
Yeah, they're crazy fuckers.
Wait a minute. What brings out this kind of behavior in people? Anybody have a guess?
Trump.
That's it.
You get the freaking.
What?
Sociopath running for president.
Yeah. Yep. I mean, he says, well, I'm not encouraging anything, but if there's going to be some real violence in this country.
He did it again today. He did it again.
Yeah. What was it he said exactly? I remember I'm paraphrasing it.
It's just like the January 6th thing all over again.
Yeah.
What he said, it was very similar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If they try to indict me, there's going to be a lot of violence in this country.
Yep, that's what he said.
Bloodshed.
You know what I remember? I remember what was the play Beckett, the play Beckett, and it was made into a movie, and it's when the King of England wants to have Beckett killed by his minions, but he doesn't tell them to kill him. They just said, "Oh, I'm in complete misery, and the only way I could be put out of my misery is if this guy Beckett were dead." And then his guys go out and kill him. That's kind of what Trump does.
Yeah, it's like the mobsters. It's like the Roman emperors. It's all like implied.
Yeah, I don't want to kill him, but if somebody else wants to, I won't stand in your way. You know.
Yeah, but did you hear today that Mike Pence is probably going to have to testify, as is Mark Meadows, because this privilege that they have claimed has been shot down
by the judge?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. Now, can they appeal that?
They can, but the Court of Appeals has already ruled against his lawyer, who said that he can't testify because of attorney-client privilege. That's already been appealed to the circuit court, and the circuit court struck it down too. Said, no, you got to testify before the grand jury.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, you know, eventually, I think they'll nail Trump. But the more they keep trying to nail him, the more he commits more crimes.
Yeah.
And this is not. You'd like to think that Donald Trump, if nothing more, is not stupid, you know, and that we don't want to.
I think he is.
We don't want to underestimate him, but he's stupid. You know.
He's cunning, but he's stupid.
Yeah, he's good at being cunning. He's very good at it.
He's got street smarts.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. Or maybe even gangster smarts. I mean, I think he would love to have become a gangster. And actually, he has become a gangster.
Yeah.
You know, just terrible. I mean, I can't believe that this guy was president of the United States, so that anybody with any half a brain would vote for him, which makes me believe that this country has a bunch of people that don't have half a brain.
Well, you know when this all started, right?
When?
During Reagan, when he
I was going to say that.
He started downplaying public schools, how horrible they were, and dummied down the public school education in this country. And ever since then, it's gotten worse and worse and worse. And of course, the Republicans are good at saying, "Oh, this sucks," and then they do everything they can to make it suck.
Yeah.
And then they complain some more about how this sucks.
Well, don't you think it started when Reagan courted the right-wing religious fanatics?
Yes.
And it just spiraled from there.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Evangelicals.
Yeah.
Yeah. The evangelicals, but I mean, I don't know that necessarily Reagan making the schools less effective, let's say.
Well, he wanted to dummy down the school lunch program by calling ketchup a vegetable.
I remember that.
Yeah.
It isn't?
No, it's a fruit.
It's a condiment.
No, but it's a fruit. It's not
the
a
fruit
vegetable.
with sugar.
Yeah.
Ketchup is a condiment.
Well, it's a condiment once you process it, but but on its own, it's
Tomatoes are a fruit.
Yeah. Tomatoes
ketchup,
are a fruit.
Yes, but ketchup is made from tomatoes.
Oh, ketchup.
Ketchup.
Oh, he wants to say that. Oh, I see. Okay,
he wants to say ketchup.
Ketchup is a condiment made from tomatoes.
Vegetable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about catsup?
What's up with you?
Ketchup.
That's how our company got started, was anthrax in the mail. The 3 congressmen that got him after 9/11.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
We were just before I started working at the company, they were making stuff to detect biothreat stuff, so like anthrax. And then after that happened, we went in with Northrop Grumman and we test all the U.S. mail that goes through. So if it went through U.S. mail, likelihood we would have caught it.
Really? Son of a bitch. Yeah. Now, I don't know who these guys think by... Most time it's talcum powder, right?
Something, yeah.
I mean, all you got to do is put talcum powder in envelopes, mail it to somebody, and immediately you've got dogs sniffing it, you know?
Oh, you could be something as simple as flour.
Oh, yeah, that too. But talcum powder seems a little more lethal, you know, so... But, I mean, so anyway, this district attorney has been threatened, and he just isn't taking any threats. He goes, look, I get 30 of these a month. You know, if I stopped doing what I'm doing every time I get one, I'd never get work done. So, you know. But I think he's determined now, more than ever, to indict him. So I think that's going to happen. I think it's going to happen next week, probably, you know. But
I'd like to see Jack Smith bring charges before the Manhattan DA, because the Manhattan DA may not be as serious as obstruction of justice in the documents case at Mar-a-Lago.
Well, the documents case is an entirely different case and much more serious.
Right.
And as is, of course, the January 6th insurrection is more serious. This thing is not as serious because it's a local issue. And it's defined by the fact that it's more a matter of breaking the law in ways which are white collar. Okay.
My point is, Trump is going to make hay of it and raise a lot of money on it.
He already has $1.5 million
by playing victimhood. He's going to play victimhood even more once the Manhattan DA indicts him.
You know, I said this last night, I'll say it again. I can't understand why any of these people send him money. Isn't he a billionaire? Isn't he supposed to have the money to take care of it himself? Do you really need...
buddy Phil.
Huh?
Phil sends him money.
I know that.
He
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Oh, yeah. But, I mean, why send a guy who's got it, supposedly, we know it's not true, but supposedly... brags that he's a billionaire, why send him any money? What is? I mean, I've never seen one of those telethons before. You know, where a rich guy says, "Please send me money. I'm down to my last $2 billion."
Exactly. I need to eat tomorrow.
Yeah. I mean,
well, did you see the performance? Did you see the performance with Marjorie Taylor Greene and Lauren Boebert? They went to the jail in D.C. to interview these people who are being held pre-trial and talking about how horrible the jail conditions were and everything. And yet a Democratic congresswoman who went along just to kind of keep things sane said these people had tablets. They were texting their family. She said, you know, I've been a prosecutor for 20 years and I have never been in a jail where people were given this many benefits.
Wow. And Boebert and Greene went down there.
Oh yeah, they went down there interviewing these people, talking about they were political prisoners, yada yada yada.
It's a new comedy team of Boebert and Greene.
Yeah. That guy from Arizona who's such an ass too. I forget his name, but he was there too. Andy Biggs, yeah.
What did he do?
Oh, he was with the group.
Oh, he was with the group too.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I can't keep up with the congressmen though. There's so many of them. You know, some of them you never even heard of.
No.
You know. In fact, I don't even know who my local congressman is.
I do.
Who?
A local congressman used to be a state senator, and his name is McGarvey.
McGarvey here in New York?
No, McGarvey in Kentucky.
Oh, in Kentucky. Okay, I thought you
third
said
district, third district of Kentucky. My congressman is McGarvey, and he took the place of John Yarmouth, who was there for 12 years or something.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the only Democrat. And the only Democrat from Kentucky. The other 5 are all Republicans.
Really? Okay. I see. I don't know who my congressman is here. The only one I know is out in Long Island.
It's probably AOC.
Oh no, it isn't AOC. No, it's somebody else. I can't remember now.
I thought he covered your area.
But you know, out in Long Island, they have that guy who is
Santos.
He lied about everything.
Yeah.
What a nutcase he is.
Well,
he didn't tell the truth about nothing.
You know, I think that Trump should be very jealous of him.
Yeah, he's making him look good. I mean,
you know what I don't get? What I don't get is Trump keeps looking for names to call DeSantis. You know, like he calls him Ron DeSanctimonious. What is that?
Yeah, I heard that one.
Most of his audience had to go look it up in the dictionary if they even owned a dictionary. Okay. He's sitting on a landmine here, and he doesn't go for it. Ron DeSantos.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You could do that.
He could do that. Well, I guess it wasn't a good idea. I guess. I'm sorry. I'm quitting show business after that.
No.
But I just, you know, I just don't understand politics today. Explain it to me, Kevin.
Can't do it.
I mean, it's so disgusting. It's amazing. It's just amazing. By the way, there's a guy waiting to come on here, and he does use his name to his credit, but then if I suddenly notice it's him, he'll come on again with another name, okay? And at the end of the show, when everybody's gone, I usually put him through on Zoom so I can give him the finger and tell him he's a moron and tell him that, you know, I'm working on getting him thrown off of Zoom and things like that. And he has no shirt on. I don't know if he has clothes on.
He's naked.
And I'm going, yeah, what is this? You know, at least put some clothes on. And then he doesn't have anything to say. He's a complete moron. You know, so he's sitting
Are you
there.
an anti-shirt phobic?
I'm an anti-shirtist. Yeah. But I mean, you know, and I can't believe there's another moron, okay, who would sit in our waiting room, and I'm not answering it, and he'll stay there for the rest of the show. Why? You know I'm not going to come to you. So
drugs.
Huh?
Drugs.
You think it's drugs? You think it's drugs?
I don't know.
He may be from England or someplace like that. I don't know where he's from. You know.
Maybe he's from a country where they don't wear shirts.
That could be. Could be Bora Bora.
Yeah. Maybe it's just hot as hell.
Yeah. By the way,
Bali.
If there's anybody listening to us who lives in Bora Bora, give me a call. I'd like to talk to you.
Maybe we bombed him in Bora Bora.
Yeah, and please put on a shirt, will you? Thank you. We appreciate it.
Bree usually has a shirt on when he calls from Kuala Lumpur.
Yeah.
Really? So anyway,
Bree's always in an air-conditioned, very expensive building.
Today is a anniversary for me.
Oh?
It's exactly 1 month ago that I went to that doctor.
Oh.
And
Dr. Vinny Bamboots.
I still haven't gotten my results for my blood tests, but he's gotten all the money for doing them from Medicare. I saw Medicare sent it out a week or so ago. He had that posted like by the following Monday, you know, and I told you, $5,000. He billed Medicare. Now he's not going to get all of that, but $5,000 he billed Medicare, and I was only there for less than an hour.
But Medicare probably said, we only pay $250 for that.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, what they said was, you want $5,000? think again, 1,200, you know. But I was thinking of getting a whole. I don't know why. I mean, I'm just mad about it, and it's not costing me a penny because my health insurance takes care of the 20%, all of it, and the government pays that amount, and it's out of their pocket. But it's also out of my pocket and your pocket, and so on. And we always ask why Medicare has problems, and it's because of doctors just like this, you know, who charge. He charged me $500 for a first-time visit. Have any of you been charged money for a first-time visit to any of your doctors?
Not even to my car mechanics, $500.
Yeah, right. I mean, it's if your car mechanic say, "Oh, you just brought your car in for the first time, so I'm going to have to charge you $500."
Like $100 for a diagnostic test, not $500.
Yeah, but I mean, the gall of this guy. I'll blame it on him because he's the doctor, you know. And then they couldn't even draw blood out of my arms. So, what the hell? Anyway, so that's my anniversary, a whole month. I should have gotten the results the following Monday, but I didn't, you know. But he had the bill being sent out to Medicare by the following Monday.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So anyway,
I tell you,
what are we going to do about medicine in this country? I mean, we've got two. It's double pronged. The problem is the cost of medicine. I mean, well, think about it. I mean, people go in to see this doctor. They pay you know, they don't have Medicare. They don't have insurance, and now they're billed $5,000. And by the way, that's what they're going to have to pay if they don't have insurance.
Exactly. Yeah.
You know, that's an absolute crime. Okay. In my book. But then you add to that what's happening with the prescription drug people, and that's driving me really doubly nuts. Not because of me. I mean, hey, I go to Costco to get my prescription drugs for the most part, and the stuff is pretty cheap. Okay, I do it, and I don't even use my insurance to pay for it. But you look at it, and man, oh man. The prices that they charge for some drugs. You know, you see all these cancer drugs on television they advertise, you know. Do you know how much? I then just go online and just say, how much is thus and thus, you know? And they'll tell you it's like $20,000 or something like that. And I'm going, what are they making this stuff out of? Cocaine, you know? Hell, cocaine's cheaper. So anyway, you know, but yes,
probably making it out of stem cells.
Yeah, probably making it out of stem cells. Yeah,
but the thing is, like, it may cost that in the United States, and then they charge Canadians like a tenth of the price.
Yeah.
Oh, but no, the Canadians won't allow drug companies to, because in Canada. It's all under the national health. And so, therefore, they just won't have people be able to get the prescriptions for those drugs in that country if they don't come down to a certain price. And so they do the same thing in England. It's just here. That's why our people go over the border to go get their drugs.
Yeah.
Well, there are discounts available in this country, too, for some medicines. Not all medicines, but for some. There's one my wife takes, and Good RX, it's $18 for a month. If I didn't have Good RX, it was $527.
But you can only do that for 1 month, right?
No. Every month.
Oh, every month you can do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. We have what's that drug that everybody's taking to lose weight now that diabetics need and they can't get it?
Oh yeah.
Pregabalin.
Oh, yeah.
No, not pregabalin. What?
Ozempic.
Ozempic. Yeah.
Ozempic.
Yeah.
That's one of them.
Okay, let me just look here. Okay, and I will put
It's
it
supposed to
Google.
control your A1C.
Yeah, whatever that is. Charlie probably knows. What is A1C?
I don't need it, so I don't know.
It's your
Like your blood sugar.
average over 3 months, your blood sugar.
Yeah.
Ozempic. Wait a minute. Ozempic. Okay, here we go. Okay, how much is Ozempic? Let me see here. Sign up for savings, blah, 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 blah. How much is a 30-day supply of Ozempic? Now, I don't think it's a 30-day drug, is it? It's a it's an injection you do at home, right?
Yeah.
30-day supply. Oh, let's see here. They say $995 a month. That's cheap compared to some other drugs.
Jesus.
Yeah, it's that's not bad. But there was one drug I looked up, and it was just the price was just amazing. And I'm going, why are you advertising to the average Joe on TV when they can't afford it? Even their prescription coverage probably won't let you do it, or use it.
Ask your doctor about Ozempic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
$900 a month. Yeah. Okay.
Well, let me see here. I go over to Costco. I always love doing this. Okay. I go Costco pharmacy. Okay, here we go. And I'm going to welcome to Costco pharmacy. And then I go, oh, here we go. It's down here. Warehouse pickup. And then I go to drug pricing. And let's see here. Can I get Ozempic there? Let me see here. Oh, gosh. Ozempic. Okay. Oh, Jesus, I can't type to save my life anymore. Oh, Ozempic, they do carry it. Now, what do we see? $9.95?
Yeah.
Okay, let's see here. This is.
I got $9.80.
Oh, Costco, it's $1,063.
Oh my God.
Wow, there's more. Huh?
Yeah. Boy.
Well, this is not drug related, but something similar. There's a breaker panel that I use when we build houses for Habitat, and we were short for some reason. The first year that I led the team, I ended up having to buy one from Home Depot online.
Yeah.
Well, if you look on the Schneider Electric website, who is the distributor for Square D panels, it was $1,095, and I could buy it from Home Depot for $235.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. So I mean, but I just think that I just feel so terrible for Americans, where every country in the civilized country, except for one other, have universal health care. And what country do you think that is?
Russia.
China.
China.
Now, you would think a communist country would have universal health care. They don't.
But I'll tell you something. I had to go to a hospital in China, and it was extremely cheap.
Really?
And this was in 1992. They don't have universal. You have to pay for it, but it's so damn cheap. Except for the Chinese. For a Chinese person, though, maybe it's not cheap. For me, it was cheap.
What did you have?
I had a high blood pressure crisis because of something I ate that mixed with the medicine I was taking.
Yeah,
and then I had an irregular heartbeat.
Would that happen to be fried bat?
No, it was at a Pizza Hut.
Pizza Hut in China.
Pizza Hut in China?
I take a medicine where I'm not supposed to eat like certain cheese, and I guess they had it in there.
Yeah, so how much?
I have to get that medicine from Canada because it costs $8.60 per pill in the United States, and it costs 80 cents per pill in Canada.
Wait a minute, hold on a second. Let me go back to Costco here for a second, and tell me. Let's see here.
Okay, but they might be quoting you the generic, which I can't take, which is the problem. But it has to be the brand name.
Well, what is the brand name?
It's called. It's called Parnate. Parnate.
Parnate.
Yeah, I don't know. I can't remember the actual
Parnate.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh wait a minute. Here we go.
Can't be generic. The generic is cheap, but I can't take it.
Really, you can't.
Yeah, just It's so screwed up. It's hardly anyone takes this medicine, and the generic's been around since like '85, and I was never getting it, and it wasn't work. It didn't work, and I filed a complaint with the FDA, and they didn't do anything because they said enough people hadn't complained.
PARNAT.
Yeah, NATE.
Yeah, they don't carry it.
Okay.
Yeah, they don't carry it.
Yeah.
Do you know who's gotten into this whole thing of cheap drugs is Mark Cuban. And he's got a site. Here comes Alan. Hold on a second. Let me admit Alan.
Dr. Allen.
Yeah, he was waiting in the waiting room with the guy with no shirt on.
He delivered a baby.
Yeah.
Maybe Alan saw him. Did you see the guy with no shirt in the waiting room, Alan?
You don't get to see the other people in the waiting room, do you?
I know.
No. I on the phone holding for the fucking doctor for this urinary tract problem I'm having. Anyhow, and the doctor hung up on me after being on hold for an hour. So I told the nurse.
You go to Kaiser, don't you?
Yeah, usually.
Well, you know, my friend.
My urine culture came back after the doctor left today, of course. So.
My old friend Larry Bubbles Brown refers to Kaiser, of course, as doctor-assisted suicide.
Yeah, well, you know, in the 90s, they had a sales thing that said "good people, good medicine," but somebody added "good luck" to it.
Yeah. Well, see here we're talking about medicine, and that comes up.
I actually had a nightmare last night about doctor-assisted suicide.
Really?
It was a horrible dream. I woke up in a terrible mood.
Really?
Yeah.
I hate that when you wake up dead.
Yeah, it sucks.
Well, it certainly, though, if whatever is wrong with you, it cures it. You know.
Yeah.
So.
Are any of you guys watching the tournament, the basketball tournament?
Oh yeah, me. Me. Oh yeah.
You talk about March Madness?
All four of the number one seeds have lost.
I know.
Wow.
So pretty much brackets have been completely destroyed, is what I'm told.
This is the first time in the history of the NCAA tournament that the Elite Eight does not have at least one number one seed.
Wow.
Wow. Well, that's
probably
good.
because of Trump is also.
Well, what's the one that Jimmy Kimmel always kids about? He said he doesn't really believe there is a school called Gonzaga.
Gonzaga, yeah.
Gonzaga.
He said it just doesn't exist. You know?
It does.
And
why?
In fact, they wrote him and said, "We'll fly you up here just to show you Gonzaga University." But every year,
it's a Jesuit private college in Spokane, Washington, I think, isn't it?
Yes. Yeah.
Is it named after Father Gonzaga?
But just Creighton University. Creighton University is a Jesuit private college in Omaha, Nebraska.
Oh,
and they're still in the tournament.
Oh, keep talking about this because I get to keep my Emmy for another year. Keep going.
John Stockton went to Gonzaga. I don't know if you know that.
You know,
who
Jesuit colleges often have really good basketball teams.
There's only one school left in the tournament that was a number 2 seed. All the other number 2 seeds have gone, and the only one left is Texas.
Yeah, they just won. They're beating.
No.
Texas is beating Xavier right now.
Yeah.
I don't want to jinx them.
Texas is ahead 65-43 in the second quarter.
Yeah.
I want to see if any of you would think I was frozen. Well, anyway.
Yeah, you got the sports Emmy. You should be talking about it.
Let's check your temperature. Hold still.
My temperature's been a little on the higher side lately.
Tony, you look horrible.
Yeah, Tony's got, you know what it is? We do have, the pollen is coming back.
I got a cold here.
Well, it could be pollen.
It could be. I think I got my sister's cold from the kids in our class. She was
one of her kids in her class could have had COVID. It could test yourself, Tony.
I actually did test myself and I was negative. I did it last week too. Yeah, I got so many kids in the house.
Let me tell you something very interesting. And I hate to go back and belabor the situation with Shecky, but a woman that I know that was taking care of Shecky towards the end, helping him a lot. She's a great woman. She was the assistant director over at Letterman. She wrote me a note and she said, I'm now going through his house, and I thought I'd just get a hold of you and see if there's anything you want.
Oh.
Okay. And I thought about it, and I wrote her back, and I said, I can't think of anything, because it's strange that I don't, Shecky didn't have anything that I would want, Like if he had a video camera sitting around, it was a really good video camera, I'd say, sure. But no, that wasn't what Shecky was into. All the stuff he was into, I never ever, I think, was ever envious of anything that Shecky had, because the stuff he had was stuff that I wouldn't have, So I couldn't come up with anything. It's very nice of you to ask, but, I can't think of anything right now. And so I keep trying to think, what did I think about what's in that house? Because I went over there a lot. And the only thing I could think of was in his mother's bedroom, which he used to call it, or my bedroom, which he used to call it sometimes. He had a rocking chair, which I
my mother has one still.
Yeah, I would pick up and put it in his room while we sat there and talked, so I would have something to sit on. And every time I went over, I would sit in this rocking chair, and I thought, well, maybe I could go for the rocking chair, because that has some kind of association with Shecky. But then I thought about it, and I said, I got to lug that rocking chair back to New York City, to Manhattan, and on top of that, I can order up a car and bring it with me or whatever. But on top of that, is he going to go throw up?
You got to lug it up 8 floors, right?
Yeah, right. But I thought about it. It's not that great a rocking chair, so it's not like it's a really old, antique rocking chair. It's just an old rocking chair. So, it was the one thing my parents I kept. They had a rocking chair, and I think I still have it.
I have one too for my grandmother.
Yeah,
that's what.
I loved my parents' rocking chair. It was terrific, and it had, what it had? It had a creak in it. They built creaks into those things, into rocking chairs, so they would squeak when you. So anyway, that's all boring stuff, right, Wayne?
Yes.
He's the nighttime version of what's his name?
Jeff.
No, not Jeff.
No.
Edward Berger. Edward Berger.
Ed Berger.
Yeah.
If you people haven't ever watched the Monday show, you're in for a treat if you haven't seen Edward Berger or heard Edward Berger. You don't need to see him. He has a voice naturally that is a cartoon voice.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'll show it to you.
What did you did you just throw up?
No.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, it's show and tell now on rocking chairs.
By
By
the
way,
50 years old now.
that's a nice rocking chair.
Yeah, this is like my grandmother's. It's really old, like Shecky's had.
Yeah.
It's something like yeah.
Well, the rocking chair at Shecky's I'm talking about.
I remember that because I said, my God, my mother has one too.
Yeah.
We saved this.
To take pictures of it, Tony, and send it to all your friends.
Yeah, it's terrific, Tony. Thank you for your show and tell tonight. You realize, see, that it's the same background that Ray has, okay? Which is...
Except for Ray's got his mother in
right
there.
now, everybody get a screen grab of that, okay? And then you can do it too. I can't hear you, Ray. Ray, we can't hear you.
You're muted, Ray.
His mother was in a rocking chair in the movie.
Yes, right.
Yeah.
Right.
So that's kind of creepy.
That is kind of creepy. No, I like a good rocking chair is wonderful.
Oh yeah, I had one for
Yeah,
30
look out the
something.
window.
Yeah, there's nothing more relaxing than a nice rocking chair. And then if it has a little bit of creak in it, it's really, really cool. Really cool. So, folks.
How come the other people don't have the wallpaper? I mean, what's up with that?
Yeah, one's in the house. What do you want for breakfast?
I sent it to everybody at one time.
Yeah.
What? Oh, the wallpaper.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
Ray
look,
took the
there we go.
screenshot.
There we go. We got 3 now.
Yeah.
Tony, you need better lighting. Yours sucks.
I know.
Well, you used to have more lighting.
Yes.
We're painting the apartment, so but keeping the wallpaper though. Actually.
Oh, if you got rid of that wallpaper, I wouldn't talk to you ever again.
No, that's what makes it
You
great.
said that. I'll never forget that day. I never noticed how bad it was until you said it.
That's the worst
It
wall.
match,
That's
right.
the worst.
It doesn't match.
That's the worst wallpaper I've ever seen. It's
when you signed off that night, I turned around. I was like, it doesn't match. She's right. And I closed the lights up. I went downstairs. I started laughing.
Yeah,
My brother's like, "What are you doing?" I was just laughing.
Well, what's that little round thing in there? Is that like something you just?
It's plate, isn't it?
Is it a plate
Hanging on the wall?
A
Oh,
plate
yeah.
hanging on the wall. Yeah.
My mother's old plates. I was taking them down, packing them up actually.
When? Like a year ago?
Well, she's got so much stuff, this woman. I'm finding things that I said to my sister, Nan, Mommy's got so much shit. I mean,
Too
it's
bad
so
you're not
funny.
finding gold coins.
Knickknacks, little angels. She better be in heaven, my mother, because if she's not, I'm going to take out a search warrant and run that place.
Either that, or you know that it was a waste of time buying all those angels.
Alex, I got so much stuff. I mean, I bought her a lot of stuff too, so she saved everything.
By the way, I'll make you a bet. Before he came on tonight, our friend Tony has had coffee.
4 cups.
4 cups?
The basketball game, yeah.
How do you sleep?
If he doesn't drink coffee, okay.
I'm up like a wire. I got to watch Hitchcock tonight. The Wrong Man, I think. So keep myself up.
Did you hear that I was talking?
I'm sorry.
Forget it. It doesn't matter.
I said if he doesn't have coffee. If he doesn't have coffee, what happens?
I think your delivery's tomorrow. Your decaf coffee, Tony.
Okay. Well, he got me decaf. He knows I'm too high with the regular.
Oh, did you send him decaf?
Thank you, Alan.
Absolutely.
He's very nice to me, Alan. I have to say that.
Really?
You're welcome,
But
Tony.
he's always thanked me. I have to say that.
I'm a nice guy most of the time. I just play an asshole on the show.
Yeah.
Okay.
Plays an asshole on TV.
There you go. Thank you. I'm not on TV. You're the actor.
You're on TV right now.
Oh, okay. I guess.
I bet somebody's watching you on a TV somewhere.
Oh, well. Yeah, you might be right.
Yeah. Yeah. So anybody have anything interesting they're up to for this weekend?
I don't want to leave the house, but I'm watching the basketball games tomorrow.
Something interesting. Underline the word interesting.
Yeah. 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 I said interesting. Yeah. Well, I mean, look, I understand people are really all jazzed up about the Final Four. But what happens is that all these sports events now all have this big event they do now. Everybody goes crazy over. Oh, didn't we just get through with the Super Bowl? I think we did.
Yep.
Yeah.
But March Madness pushes more money than all of that stuff.
Does it really?
The gambling everywhere.
Well, because how many games? But you have it all bracketed, and you've got like you get down to the top 16 or something like that, right? And then the betting really starts.
After this weekend, it'll be the Elite 8.
People start with 64 teams, and then they lose their ass, and then they rebet, and then they rebet, and then they rebet.
And you can bet on games. You can bet on individual games.
Yeah,
it's huge. It's much more than Super Bowl.
And what's terrible, that makes it even more terrible, is you can now bet online.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, in 2 seconds. Oh, wow. Yeah, 2 seconds.
Yeah.
Wow, my phone.
Yeah, you can lose your house in 2 seconds.
I heard an interesting statistic is the number of vasectomies goes up significantly right at the beginning of March Madness. And they think it's because then the men have an excuse to sit on the couch for 2 weeks. And
I was going to say, is that in the hospital or at home vasectomy?
At home vasectomies?
Yeah, where the wife rips off your nuts.
Oh, yeah.
That's bullshit because I was back at work the next Monday after I had on Friday, and I was back at work Monday, so I don't want to hear about 2 weeks.
Oh, listen, if I
well, you just lie. Say, the doctor told me I have to sit around for 2 weeks.
If I weren't so questionable about it, okay, Marjorie would watch more basketball than she does. She would watch all that stuff. She loves those things. She even watched a bit of the Super Bowl. You know.
You don't like the sports out.
I watch basketball.
No, I find. I'll tell you, if it's like the World Series and it's down to the last couple of games, okay, I can get excited a little bit. You know, I can get a little excited about that, but I can't get excited about football because I don't know how it's played, and I can't get excited about basketball. Because again, you know, I understand how it's played, but I just back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. I'm sorry, I don't get it. You know, it's a very non-impactive sport. All right.
Hockey's back and forth too.
Yeah. Now, here's what I would go for: football with guns. You know, I would pay to see that. I would even bet on that. Okay. You know.
How would they do that?
Just before a guy's about ready to make a touchdown, just before he's about ready to go over the end zone, see, I know some of those terms, you just shoot him in the head.
There goes your monetization.
I'd pay to see that.
Advocating violence.
Hey, listen, anything will kill my monetization. I've had nights where, tonight I don't think we've used a single 4-letter word, if I'm not mistaken. Have you heard anybody?
F no.
And I will get demonetized tonight.
Fuck no.
Well, thank you. I wanted to go the whole show without doing
I said
it.
puck no.
Oh, puck no.
What about the word work? There's a 4-letter word.
Yeah, but I mean, I just, you know, I get demonetized every night on the on just the stream, and then I have to say I want this reviewed, and then they review it and say, oh, you're okay. Well, then why are you doing this to me every night? You know,
and then you collect your 20 cents.
And I collect my 20 cents.
It's because they have algorithms that are looking at this stuff, just like resumes. I saw a story the other day about resumes. Most major companies now, they hired ZipRecruiter or someplace like that to review all the resumes submitted to their company. And before a human being looked at it, ZipRecruiter has an algorithm that looks at the resume, and it tells the company then, okay, you need to talk to this guy or you need to talk to this guy.
It's all keywords. I was told that years ago.
Yeah.
You know why you get demonetized is because we talk about prostates too much.
Could be.
Really?
I think so. Because then it's like
prostrate.
prostate massage and all that stuff.
Yeah. Well,
or Tony talks about his prostrate.
Yeah.
His prostate is very prostrate.
Yeah. But anyway.
It's better than having him axe you to death, you know.
Mm-hmm.
He's axed his
anyway,
prostrate.
There's our little theme song. And this is, you know what I like about the show the last couple of nights? We haven't gotten too damn political, and we just chatted. And
Nothing's happening.
It's so much nicer, and it gets a larger audience, oddly enough, you know?
Wait till they get them, then we'll talk about politics.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, you heard that the first rally that Trump had after announcing that he was running for president again was held on the 30th anniversary of the Waco massacre.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
In Waco. In Waco.
Oh, yeah. In Waco. Yes, he did do it in Waco, didn't he? What a schmuck.
And it was the 30th anniversary of that massacre.
Go ahead. I said a schmuck. Demonetize me. Anyway, hey, thank you. I love getting calls from you all the time, Charlie. You know, you're one of our most loyal callers too, as is Kevin, as is Vernon.
As I'm not.
Wayne is now a very loyal caller. He calls every night and hardly says anything. But we're gonna next time you call, Wayne, we're gonna interview you.
Uh-oh, I'm in trouble.
But we like having you here. And I'm glad you joined the band, as it were. Tony, thank you for joining us, as well as Ray, and of course another regular of ours, which is Brian Neary and Alan. Alan, thank you. And we'll see some of you on Jack's show. Everybody wave goodbye, and I'll wave goodbye at you, okay? All right, there they go, ladies and gentlemen. That's our citizen panel for tonight. Anyway, we're through with them, and we're through with you. And Jack is next with The Intersection. He'll be here. He'll be taking your calls at on Skype at Gabnet Live. I'll see you again on Monday for the pop-up show at 4 o'clock on Facebook, and then again right back here next Wednesday night, 10:30 Eastern Time, same station in life. And in the meantime, if you see her, you know what? Tell her I love her. Have a nice weekend, everybody.